Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the True Life podcast. I hope everybody is having a beautiful day. I hope the sun is shining. I hope that the birds are singing. And I hope that the wind is at your back. I got a great show for you today. We're going to explore some fascinating topics. I want to welcome everybody to a transformative episode where we dive deep into the crossroads of technology, commerce, and human connection. Today, we have the privilege of sitting down with Eitan Koter, a visionary with over 2 decades of experience navigating the ever-evolving landscapes of media, entertainment, e-commerce, and telecom. As a seasoned founder and CEO who has led startups to NASDAQ IPOs, Eitan embodies the intersection of innovation and leadership, having mastered the art of go-to-market strategies, international sales, and SaaS solutions. Currently serving as the co-CEO of Vimmi, a groundbreaking video commerce SaaS platform, Eitan is redefining how brands connect with their audiences by transforming video experiences into interactive, shoppable moments that bring the magic of e-commerce to life across social media, marketplaces, and websites. Through his podcast, Ecom Pulse, he shines a light on the future of e-commerce, distilling insights from industry leaders, tech visionaries, excuse me, and forward-thinking brands to guide us through the brave new world of digital. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. It's a pleasure. Super excited about this episode.
Yeah, me too. You have your finger on the pulse of a lot of what seems to be transitioning in the creator economy. I'm kind of wondering if you can give us a little bit more of a backstory on how you got started there.
Look, I've started in video when the first companies transitioned from analog to digital. Remember those cable companies, Comcast, right?
Yep.
And also the satellite companies like DirecTV, EchoStar, right? So I've started in '99 already in the video, and my boss back then said, "Look, are you sure you want to join us? Because you'll never go out of this industry. You're just going to stay here. So take another day, think again." And I said, "Okay, fine, let's do that." And yeah, this was an amazing journey, and I saw the evolution of video. From the early days where we just work with companies, transition them from analog video to digital video, MPEG 2, MPEG 4. Whoever knows what these terms are stands for, right, in video compression side. And eventually we saw that video can be carried over the like IP connectivity, like IP connection. It started with like a point-to-point link from a venue to the broadcast station, right? So instead of just bringing this Obi van with satellite that costs probably $50,000 per hour, you can now just lease one IP link by the local operator and just deliver video over IP. We're quite pioneering this. And then, this is before the iPhone, right? And then the iPhone was
Yep.
launched, and suddenly with Windows Video Player and Flash, and suddenly video can be carried out also on the distribution side for the users. And CDN, like on delivery networks, has evolved, and we saw that public internet, actually unmanaged networks, can be used also for delivering professional video. Obviously, standard definition it started, but then it evolved to high definition 4K. And we know that Netflix actually, was launched globally, and then Disney and all the other online video platforms. And that was an amazing transition. And see how it evolved. It's really, really crazy. So video is like everywhere. Video is like 82% of the worldwide internet is video, right? According to Cisco, and it keeps growing. And obviously, it has many, many use cases. So I started in media and entertainment. We work with cable companies, with mobile operators, with content providers, media houses. And during the last, I think, probably 4 years ago, we realized that something is happening in China with live shopping.
Mm.
Okay, so in China they have these super apps, right? You can it's an app that you do everything on these apps, right? You buy products, it's your digital wallet, you do everything there, and suddenly people started to go live in China and promoting products, and it was very, very successful type of experience. And some of them sold billions of dollars just from live shopping. It's their daily job, right? So just the volume of live shopping in China is probably bigger, larger than probably the top 3 European country, their entire
Wow.
e-commerce business, right? GMV of the entire country. So it's a big, big, big thing in China. And we saw that there is a process or an evolution of this technology towards the Western world, to the developed countries. And 4 years ago, we already served a lot of customers and millions of users all around the world. So we took our technology, which is kind of a built on variety of microservices, that because video is kind of a workflow thing, and we said, okay, let's productize these type of microservices towards retail brands and the commerce use case. And we saw the rise of video being used for marketing activities by brands and retailers and any business, right? And then because of that interactivity layers of the ability to purchase from within the video, whether it's through a live event or non-live event, we knew that it's going to be a big thing also in the US and in Europe. And we launched our video commerce SaaS platform. And this is what we do for the last 4 years. It's actually a new business unit for us. And what we see is that obviously brands and retailers are using it almost on every side. But we saw the evolution of that creator economy. Now I'm going back to
Yep.
your question. And what we see is that the biggest brands of the future will come from those influencers and solopreneurs, those content creators, because they have followers and they can now introduce products. And we know, like the Kardashians and many other use cases of influencers becoming big players in terms of owning their business, owning their brand, and launching products. What they actually need from the tech side is the platform to manage their products, to merchandise their products, helping them with dropship, helping them with content creation, with video distribution. And these are some of the things that we do. So today we work with brands of all sizes. We work with solopreneurs and content creators and influencers, and they are all stakeholders, in our platform.
It's mind blowing to me to see the evolution, and I love that you use that term evolution of
Mhm.
marketing. This is a big question, but how do you think that the video and live shopping influences behavior? Like we're seeing this shift into that. Like why is that, Eitan? Like what is there
Yeah.
something between imagery and behavior that we're having this new state of awareness, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think there are a few spheres probably that are combining together, like in this, like 2024, 2025, right? So one
Yep.
thing is that it's difficult it's very, very difficult to acquire new customers to your amazingbrand.com website, right? It's become
Yep.
very, very difficult. Like 3 years, 4 years ago, you would have spent $1 in Facebook, you know that you have between 5 to 10x. It was guaranteed, right?
Right.
Same in Amazon. But today, nothing is guaranteed, right? It's very crowded, very competitive. CPCs are very, very high. Advertising cost is so high, it's very difficult to break through, right? Again, if you're a big player, fine.
Yep.
But if you are just a new brand or not launching a new products, it's very, very difficult to do the traction like it used to be a few years ago. So a lot of companies are looking for more ways to differentiate and break through. And they found the route of the video, because video is a very emotional way, because you can see the
Yep.
people. It's very authentic. You can tell your own true story. And this is one of the probably last areas where you can really grow and grow with just organically without this huge investment in paid media, right? And
Yep.
if you go organically with video and you're consistent and creating all those videos, you know from analytics what's working and what's not, and you can then obviously invest in advertising, but you know that the return on ad spend is going to be very, very good. So this is one sphere. The other sphere is the new generation of shoppers that are coming into the industry, Gen Z, right?
Yep.
Like they don't like this over polished, videos and pictures. They are looking for the authenticity, right? They can, like, the attention span is 1.7 second today. Like if you go to a website, if you just swipe up on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, it's like 1.7 second that people are making decision whether to stay or just to swipe up. Okay. By the way, like 3 years ago, it was 7 seconds, right? So it just crashed completely. TikTok is obviously helping us positive or negative, it's a different discussion, but the TikTokification effect just
Like that.
taught us about authenticity, consistency, and no one cares about the background and all these. You don't rent studios, don't spend 2 months on just creating a video, just shoot it on your iPhone and that's it, right? What with few of my best successful viral videos, they had zero editing on the video, nothing. Maybe just adding subtitles in one button, right? In one of
Yep.
the tools. Just go out there, 59-second maximum. Okay.
Yep.
It's very, very important. Even 30 seconds is going to be even better. But so that's another trend. The Gen Zs that came over, TikTokification effect, right? And the ability for video to create more of an emotional connection between sellers and buyers. The whole thing with marketing is changing. We're moving from like one to many to just this one-to-one engagement that is very, very possible, with technology and AI. So the ability to build a relationship first and then promote the product. People are more opening to be being offered something once they gain some credibility or some kind of a rapport, with the seller. So a lot of things has merged together to help video become like the cornerstone of a lot of activities. And another opportunity because of that difficulties to bring customer to your own website is the opportunity with social commerce. So that's like a
Mhm.
mega business trend right now. Just to give you the numbers, right? Social commerce 2030, $6.2 trillion, right? It's like it was like 1 trillion last year. It's going to be like 6 times double increase, right, in the next 5 years. So that's a mega opportunity because it's okay. I mean, if you're spending 40% of your revenues on advertising, right, why not reduce it to 8%, 6%, or 11%, depending on which niche, revenue share with TikTok, right?
Yep.
So it's okay. You don't have to bring all your users to buy on your platform. Of course, there are a lot of advantages in terms of data, reaching out to them directly, but there is a more and more tendency to open up. Social commerce is another mega opportunity, and video is like the vehicle, the engine of all these mega trends that I just shared.
It's mind-blowing to me to see in real time the landscape changing as quickly as it is. It's almost like you're watching a video, seeing how fast strategies change and are
Mhm.
implemented on some levels. Maybe you could help redefine live shopping. Maybe can you present like a linguistic image for people who may not thoroughly understand what live shopping is?
Yeah, yeah. So live, I think it's very clear, right? I mean, in the big screen, it's live is probably today only relevant for maybe sports events, music, or
Yep.
news, right? That's it. And of course, we have a lot of live event scenarios also on over the internet on the digital fronts, let's say. So social media, actually. So all the social platforms are providing the ability to go live, right? We're going live right now in
Yep.
multiple channels, right?
Yep.
So that live experience is more of a emotional experience, which is dramatically sets apart than a regular video that you see, which is pre-recorded and edited. This is happening just now. It's live, and it's a special event that is more emotionally triggered and involved. And the live shopping use case of the live is the ability for a seller or for a host to showcase a product, whether it's unboxing or describe the product in terms of its functionality. During those live events, there is also the ability for sellers to ask questions through a chat
Mhm.
system. So, for example, in the Vimmi platform, also on other platforms, there's a studio where you go live, and there is a moderation aspect of it in terms of the chat. Someone can, the host or another seller can respond to questions over the chat in order to answer quickly and maximize conversion rates. And in terms of the shopping experience, there is a button, like a buy now button. You can actually click on a button within the video player that will pop up a checkout page, right? Where you can, during the video experience, you can complete a full checkout experience, meaning add to cart, pay with your credit card, and define shipments, and that's it, right? While the video continues to play. And this is for that, we call it video checkout. right? So this
Right.
whole experience is based on the psychological effect that we all know in e-commerce, that it's called the impulse purchase, right?
Mhm.
And that just the live shopping aspect of it just take the impulse purchase to the next level, right? Because if you do market in advance those events as a brand or as a seller, just increasing the FOMO, fear of missing out, whether there is an extensive substantial discount or some kind of a variety of coupon codes, or there are a lot of gamification involved in these events, like
Mm.
trivia games, and trying to push people to be more interactive and more engaged, so they can get more discounts or more benefits. And if you market these events in a correct way, all the viewers of these live events, they are like super highly intent potential shoppers, right? And we see that the conversion rates are like 10x from a regular web page. And we know that regular brands.com websites, probably they are somewhere between 2%, 3%, 4% conversion rates. Amazon are like probably 8%. But in the live shopping events, we can see like data of 20%, 30% conversion rates of the people that are actually participating in the event are really buying that product. So this is a very powerful type of sales opportunity or a sales event within the overall marketing activities of any brands today.
It's it's exciting to me, and it brings up this idea of maybe genetics versus culture. And I'm curious about the idea of what may work in China. Like, is there something that is, genetic about getting a coupon at a discounted rate and bringing in some FOMO? You know what I mean? Is
Yep.
is is there strategy for culture versus genetics there?
Yes, I mean, there are things that are not working, for example, in the US that are working very well in China,
Right,
right? So, and I think eventually we are very much influenced. I mean, we talked about social commerce, like the
right,
opportunity of brands selling on social media. But there's another definition for social commerce is we are buying because our friends also bought that product,
right,
right?
right,
And we like to buy together. We feel more confident. Like I think the number one criteria for anyone to buy is because one of his friends already purchased that product and they gave a recommendation, some kind of a review that is happy with. And this is like by far the number
right.
one trigger for making that purchase. So, I mean, if you see that the other people are purchasing or buying, then you're mostly going to buy that product. That's a very important, aspect of this whole use case, and this is why we see such a huge explosion in this creator economy, or the importance of influencer marketing. Just influencer marketing, I mean, that just the market size is, it's hundreds of billions. I don't remember the exact number of businesses is generated by influencers, because the way that, for example, people are, you know buying, and let's say Gen Z / millennials are buying on TikTok, as they go to the search in TikTok, search for the product and see recommendation and reviews videos from other shoppers who already purchased the product. And if they're happy with it, they will go to TikTok shopping, they will go ahead and purchase that product. So it's kind of you do a search, you're influenced by previous shoppers, you see an influencer content, and you make a purchase, right? They're just bypassing everything that we know, Facebook, Google,
Yeah,
right? Everything. So that's the future of commerce, right? Which
yeah,
is very social, very influencer based. No one cares about features and functionalities anymore, because there are so many alternatives out there. People want to see like real result testimonials. These are the very powerful things that influencer can deliver. And those authentic influencers, let's call them micro, or
yeah,
right, not those mega influencer. Everyone knows they're getting paid, right?
yep,
So it's not authentic. And the new generation of shoppers, they're really less. They're very. They have like radars. They know like within millisecond that it's paid sponsored video, right? And they just swipe up. They don't care about that, right? So they're looking for those authentic reviews. They know how to find those authentic reviews, and they are making decisions accordingly. This is why communities are very important. And like YouTube just launched another community, a lot of community functionalities. Just building a community around the brand is just one of the important things that you can do. So online sales, online marketing, all these new trends, you see the small medium businesses are quickly adopting these new trends. Big brands are mostly winning on, the big advertising budgets on Meta, big SEO budgets with content on Google search, right? And all these new TikTok based, short form, influencer based is a new generation of shoppers that are mostly, targeting the smaller niche type of brands, and they don't like to buy from the big guys, right? So that's something we need to understand, and it will just keep growing. I mean, that these type of trends.
Man, it really makes me think, it's so weird to think about the behavior of it. Like as someone who may be an upcoming influencer, you have these ideas of making it big, but in some ways, as soon as you make it big, you've sold out all your credibility to sell to a community on some level, and you're already
Yes,
swiped up by the time you make it, right?
exactly. But then exactly, absolutely right. You just nailed it. This is why they're looking for their next. They didn't have anything. So how much? Okay, you sell a sponsor picture, fine.
Right.
A video, fine. But now this is why we see the creators and the influencers. They are becoming like brands, and they're
Yep.
starting small with drop shipping and some merchandising, but they're starting to build their own name, their own brand, and this is their evolution. And we see a lot of this is going to be huge category within commerce, right? Brands that are led by solopreneur, by influencers, right?
Yes.
That's the biggest opportunity right now because they own the community, right? And that's so powerful. This is the real mode, right, of future of business.
Yeah. What do you think that means for the future of well, let's go a little further into the weeds a little bit. When we start seeing community be the very foundation of what's important in life, that has real social ramifications, and we're actually seeing it happen in the world of advertising. That's kind of an interesting dichotomy there, right?
Mhm, mhm. Yes, I mean it's very very powerful.
Yep.
As a human species, I think the number is like we can absorb 200 people as friends, right?
Dunbar's number, right? Something like that. Yeah.
That's about all right. I mean, like 200, I think, right? But 200 is a good number. I mean, if any of these 200 bring his own friends, then
Yep.
you're building a community, right? And
Yep.
community is a different type of expertise. I mean, it needs to be maintained, managed, influenced. It needs
Yep.
to be done in a correct way. You can't push too many products. You need to be smart, try to bring value, and even a micro community with few hundreds of people is a huge asset that anyone can. I mean, you can be very very successful with this type of number if you've been able to glue those people into some kind of a cause, right? And that's very very powerful. I think it's a foundational. Now the challenge is that from the brand's perspective, that you have a lot of communities that you need to serve, right? You have the YouTube community, and you have the Instagram community, and of course now there's the TikTok, and you have the Amazons and the Walmart and CMOs, and head of marketing. It's very difficult. It's becoming so fragmented, and it's very very difficult to maintain. So obviously you can't win them all, but you need to pick your battles and see where you can leverage and grow from like more of a serial approach than rather than a parallel approach. But it's getting more and more complex, more and more complicated, of course.
Yeah. And with that complexity comes opportunities for someone like we spoke about earlier. Like you don't necessarily need to have a studio. You don't need to have the best equipment. You just need to have a good idea and the courage to jump out there and take that leap, right?
Yes. So we always encourage businesses to just put themselves out there, right?
Yep.
Just with an iPhone. It's so easy. I mean, if you're as a business owner, spend 30 minutes and create a list of 50 customer pains that you're aware of. Go to your customer support database, do some surveys. I mean, if you don't know to create a list of 50 customer pains, you're definitely in the wrong business, right? And just create 30 seconds video for each one of those customer pain. How do you suggest to overcome them, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be 100%, polished. Do that on your iPhone. You need to have like nice lighting, good mic. Good mic can be just very basic mic you can buy on Amazon, and then you can start creating content. You just repurpose this content and just post it on the relevant social network that you think that most of your potential shoppers are spending time on, right? If you're in direct to consumer, obviously TikTok, Instagram, right, YouTube. So if you're on B2B, I guess it's probably LinkedIn and YouTube, long form. But the idea is to be consistent for at least 2-3 months, and also having the ability through analytics to understand what's going on. And what's winning today is not the how the quality of your production, the length of the video. What's winning is authenticity and consistency. This just beats everything. Because if you put yourself out there, no one expects you to be perfect. We're all human beings. We are social
Right.
creatures. With the rise of AI, there are also rise of the human cuddle and human hug. People want. We are social creatures,
Yep.
right? We need this oxytocin just flowing in our blood, and it feels good. This is why people want to meet people and feel connected. And we all understand people are people, and they are looking for this type of authenticity just to know you better, right? And if they see that you are there on a daily basis, really consistent, it means that you are able, they're happy even to get proposal from you and actually make a purchase. So, and it's also very important, we teach a lot and we recommend to create the right content for the specific stage of the marketing funnel that you are currently at. So if we just try to simplify that, let's talk about awareness,
Yeah.
consideration, and decision, right? And in the marketing funnel, right? I mean, if you're just in awareness stage, probably a new brand or new product you're launching, don't pitch your product, features, and prices. No one cares. No one knows you, right? So how people knows you? By providing value of educational content, market information, micro trends, checklist. Provide a lot of good value and data as part of your content. And when you are currently you think that your shoppers are in a consideration phase, meaning they are evaluating various options, they are probably looking to purchase. Yes, provide these comparison tables, but don't be afraid to provide the information also on your competition. What we saw, since the probably the last 10 years, is that all these comparison versus blogs were produced by the affiliates, not by the providers themselves.
Mhm.
And what we see now in probably the last 18 months is all these comparison tables are produced by the providers themselves, by the software companies or by the brands. They are happy to share all the information and even providing the links to their competition websites. So think about the brand that is providing competitive information on his own website, right? And providing the links to his competitor, right? This, I mean, Google likes that a lot, right? Because they know that you are creating good, valuable content, and they will favor you in terms of their SEO priorities. So don't be afraid to, because the customers, they know everything, right? 85% of the sales process is done without talking or without gathering, any pushed advertising from the brands. I mean, they go to the internet, they go to TikTok, they go to the community, they ask questions, and when they have all the information, they may go to the website, check prices, stuff like that, right? But most of the decision is being done without discussing or without getting information from the brand in terms of push or advertising. And this is very, very important to understand. So during consideration, don't be afraid to provide these verses, case studies, information, share case studies, how to's. And when people are in the decision mode, yes, provide product information like reviews, testimonials, provide the prices, and just create content around that. So it's very important not to pitch your product too early, right? Because you need to build relationship first, build a foundation of trust before you're able to pitch a product. So that's very, very important in terms of the content that you are planning according to your marketing lifecycle.
It seems so counterintuitive to business strategies just 10 years ago. Like we're talking about almost a radical transparency where before
Yeah.
it was just like this fire hose of concentrated, we're the
Yes.
best.
Yes, this like a horse, it is blinking
Yeah.
his eyes, right? So now everything is open today. Everyone knows everything.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to talk about it. Yeah.
What about in generational trends? Like we had mentioned earlier in the conversation, it seems like the younger generation has been anesthetized to propaganda in some ways where they're just like brand swipe up, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. You still have like maybe some people in the boomer generation or even some of the other generations that have still grown up on that traditional media where you are you're less anesthetized. Are you seeing generational influencers influence different generations, or how does it work on a generation basis?
Yes, on a generation basis, I mean, brands need to understand who their customers is, right? So, we work with brands that, for example, they are working with, let's say Gen X and above, right?
Yep.
So it's just useless to go to TikTok, for example, because TikTok is like Gen Z and millennials, right? That's it.
Right.
It
Yep.
changes very, very fast. But I mean, if you are like Gen X plus, then you know what's the most successful marketing channels? Advertising on TV, on linear TV, right? It's like we are 2025 almost,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
TV is the best return on ad spend, right? Across
Yep.
all channels, digital media included, right? So they are very, very focused. They understand where the information is, what the customers is. I mean, if you're targeting Gen Zs and targeting millennials, obviously you need to be, on those small screens, right? So social media, right? TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, right? These are the type of platform you want to work with. And I see now a lot of we're in a phase of experimentation of trying to sell products on big screen as well, right? And I just want to highlight one
Mm.
important topic of, I mean, we always talk about kind of the intersection of entertainment and commerce, right? Because it's video based.
Yep.
Video can be very entertaining,
Yep.
but it needs to be also to create some kind of a conversion, right? That's to trigger you to make that impulse purchase. And I want to help, to just differentiate between small screen and big screen, because in video we have two type of experiences. We have the lean back type of experience and the lean forward type of experience. The lean back is, what we come home after a long day, we sit in the living room, 2 clicks on the remote, drink something, and we just want to absorb content. We are in reptilian mode.
Totally.
Right? Yeah,
Yep.
all our brains are shut off. Just our reptilian brain, the the old part of our brain, the back side of our brain is active, right? We don't care. We are not engaged. There's no way to sell us anything, right? So, and by the way, CTV, like big screens, like Netflix are launching advertising packages, and Disney and all. They try to find the use case, right, to make this work, right? So they were probably just putting in QR code, not in the middle of the episode, just in the show notes, probably. Just you click on the QR code, it just send you an email with a reminder maybe to click to purchase later, right? So they're trying to find the best way to create this type of experiences. And we know that the big screen are targeting like probably millennials plus, right, in terms of the generation, right? And so that's the lean back type of experience. And when we are leaning forward, which is the mobile phone primarily, and also our desktop, we are engaged, our prefrontal cortex is engaged, right? The front side of our brain is engaged, and we are ready to accept, and our nervous system is engaged for impulse purchase, right? So there is
Yep.
a lot of psychological involvement in this entertainment commerce type of thing. Not everything is like set in stone, and still we are learning what works best, trying to find the best use case for everything, and what's working. And it's very difficult to find like common denominators. Or I see like two brands with the same product competing with the same customer base, shoppers. They have like completely different marketing channels that are working for them. Like with it's the same product, same price, everything is the same, but the difference is the potential shoppers sentiment and the emotional and the mental thought process about that specific brand. What people think about that brand is different than what they think about the other brands, although they both serve them the same type of products. So we always say, start creating that content, go live, create those short form videos, be there, and just through analytics, you will know what's working and what's not, and you will find the sweet spot of you, and you know how to operate. Video is one of those only marketing efforts or marketing channels that you can grow organically and create trust and create customer loyalty, build a community, like with zero budget. Okay, just spend time on creating the right amount of content according to those stages on the marketing funnel, and you will break through. Don't spend time analyzing the algorithms. Okay,
Yep.
this will not work. The term virality is completely not relevant. By the way, I heard, if you go, like I heard the interviews of, like, also the head of marketing for TikTok, for LinkedIn, and Meta. None of them wants you to go viral. It's that era has finished. They said on purpose, we don't favor and we don't promote virality. Okay, that's not the issue. The issue is that they need to see that you are serving in a very, very good way, providing value that that specific community that you are serving, and they know better than you who is that community. I hear a
Right.
lot, and also interviewed on my podcast, like agencies or like expert in, for example, meta advertising.
Yep.
I mean, they used to spend hours just making sure all these, checkbox are clicked correctly, and the menus and the sub menus, just defining the audience very, very specifically. And
Yeah.
today, what's working today in Facebook? Open targeting. Open
Imagine that.
targeting. Just put the product description, price. That's it. Facebook know better than you how to reach your target market. It's really
Yep.
amazing. So many things are changing, and yeah, that's, I think, some of the generational differences. And but that Gen X type of approach, their share in terms of overall business is increasing, right, dramatically. It will increase more and more and more, and it will definitely change the way, and it will open a huge opportunity for small medium businesses who are struggling on the traditional networks, SEO, meta advertising, and just adopting all these new ways of marketing. That's a huge opportunity. I mean, move fast. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. By the way, one of the most successful things today is founder led content.
Mm.
All right, people want to see the founder of the business. Why? Why you started this business? What's the story behind it? It's very powerful.
Yep.
EGC, not UGC, not user generated content, employee generated content. Think about the company,
Yep.
their executives, even the warehouse employee, the marketing expert. If they share content and people feel that are like, with they know what's going on within this company, it's
Yep.
very, very powerful in terms of conversion, in terms of expanding the reach, and always increasing sales. So EGC is very important. Founder led content, these are like some of the most effective ways to do marketing these days.
I love it. I love it. It's such an intricate and wonderful way to see the way in which commerce is being led by the people that not only buy the product but work at the companies. In some Fortune 500 companies, I used to work at one, and the last thing that these guys wanted was employees making videos. That's the last thing these guys
Yeah.
wanted. Don't ever put your stuff up there. You can't do it. You know. And the thing
Yeah,
is, like,
yeah,
why?
yeah, yes,
Because these guys don't like the company they work for. It's just it's flipping on its head, man.
yes.
It's mesmerizing in some ways.
And you see those CMOs with like 20 years of experience, they are not relevant because they don't
Not at all.
understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, they don't understand why they've been replaced, right?
Yeah.
I just been replaced by a 27 years old guy, just went out from college. I mean, he knows much better than you how to market to their targeted market. That's a fact. And I
Yep.
said, yes, it's absolutely correct. So that's about it. Yeah.
We got a comment here from our friend Vikrant that says, are you leveraging Gen AI at your SaaS? If yes, how?
Yes, for sure, Vikrant. So thank you for the question. And we use AI in a variety of places. So when we describe, for example, I mean, we gather analytics. Video is very, very rich in
Right.
terms of the amount of data we collect compared to probably a blog or a picture, right? So we know so much from which device they're consuming, when they start watching, when they stop, why. This data is being used very, very effectively. We take this data to our a data lake where we enrich this data, and then we activate AI to create segmentation of audiences and provide recommendation for messaging for example, for that specific audience, just to provide recommendation on products, on marketing content, providing data about scripting, about how to improve probably the time of the video, the length of the video, a lot of parameters that are video related, but also KPIs that are related to product. So that recommendation system is a very, very powerful engine that helps customers improve targeting, improve campaigns, and the effectiveness of those campaigns. The other aspect of the AI is all about the content planning and then content creation. So just the whole scripting process, the whole recommendation about content ideas and topics, what's trending. So both in the content preparation and also in the content analytics and insights, this is a very foundational. Now we also see a lot of improvement in terms of AI avatars and AI
Yeah. Yep.
as I mean, you can clone yourself today and you can create content, right? It's probably, I mean, it's nice. I think everyone realized that it's a machine, right?
Right.
And it fits maybe a category in the market, not big, right? But we know it will improve, right?
Right.
And we talked a lot about authenticity, and in parallel, the other side of the spectrum is this, huge progress in AI generated avatars and just cloning yourself and being able to speak with the right tone and everything, just look alike. And so I think there is a mix. There's a market for both of these use cases. The live shows are
Yep.
primarily needs to be authentic. They needs to be brand and founder led. We saw like live shows where mega celebrities hosted, and it was like a complete disaster, right? Because think about the event, like 20 minutes, right?
Yep.
20 minutes, you need to kind of entertain or put the audience in a certain place that it's very interesting to stay here and just keep watching. It's not easy. It's
Yeah.
not easy, right? And if you're not an expert and if you don't know how to do that, then better not do that. What we see that the most successful events are done by the employees or by the founders or the executives themselves, because they know immediately to answer the questions. They know exactly how to deliver the product, and it's working very, very well for them. And again, doesn't have to be too polished. You don't need to plan for months for that. Just click on the button, go live, bring the right products, some good discounts, make sure you put yourself out there. That's very, very powerful.
Yeah, it's one thing I've kind of noticed that I kind of see on the cusp is people that maybe they have like their own micro community or a community, but I'm beginning to see people have their podcast translated into multiple languages and put in different countries, whether they use an avatar or themselves, where the AI language models are just dubbed in and then they can speak. That's
Exactly.
just reaching across a huge bridge right there and bringing in people that may love your content that you never knew you could even have. That's pretty amazing, right?
Yes. As long as they, I mean, once they figure out, I always think once they figure out it's a machine.
Yeah.
I mean, is it an insult? Is it an insult what you do, or I respect what you do?
Yes.
We don't know. We need to wait and see. I think there is
Right.
a market for all these use cases, and it's something that is definitely evolving. And like for example, when we go live, there is like a counter, like 5 minutes counter or 10 minutes counter. People are joining, and
Right.
it starts in another 5 or 10 minutes. So yes, you can put a lot of avatars to do some gamification to activate the audience. It's nice, and they can accept that, right? But when you go live, they want to see the founder, or they want to see the brand owner, they
Yeah.
want to see the executive. It needs to be an authentic experience. It will not work,
Yes.
right, with avatar. Some of the events maybe yes, but some of them it's not going to work. So I guess like if it's like a training or a customer
Mhm.
support event, that may be fine. Maybe it's okay. But we know that sales today is about content, authenticity, and differentiation, right? So it's not something that you do, I guess, with avatars. Not yet.
Yeah, it does bring up I think that there's room for character development in avatars. You see some companies that are like, okay, well, let's just get rid of these influencers. They're way too tricky, and they're not really. Sometimes they don't like that relationship, so they've gone and built their own Max Headroom or their own Joe Camel or their own, incredibly attractive Japanese girl or something. You know what I mean? And then they put that out there. And they put
Yeah,
that out there, and it kind of works for them. But I think that as long as you're
yeah.
not being tricked into thinking it's normal, if it's a character, I think there's room for that.
Look, on picture based, there's no way for you to figure this out. I think already, and we know, and I did a few posts about that on LinkedIn that
Right.
there are accounts. I mean that avatar already did like I think like $20 million
Right.
like virtually, right? I mean, it's funny, but that it's work, and you see the amount of followers. She's
Yeah.
just posting pictures, but they're all AI based, right? So,
Right.
and that she's able to sell, right? Actually making
Yeah.
sales, right? From again all picture based, right? So on a picture level, I think it's very difficult to identify. But we talk about video. Video is something which is more challenging, of course, but it's improving, and we will soon get there for sure.
Yeah, the live stream to me seems like an altered state of awareness. I feel like the people that participate in the live stream are as much a part of the show as the individuals that are
Right.
there. Like you get to be part of something bigger than you, right?
Yes, 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 and it's an interactive event. I mean, it's like a
Yes.
dual communication. Although you're
Yep.
not, it's not like a Zoom experience. Not all the people are, opening camera. It's like one to many, but you can still
Right.
communicate through the chat. There is some kind of an interactivity, and we in our platform we encourage the viewers to invite their network. And
Yeah.
if one of their networks is purchasing the product, we give an affiliate commission to that viewer, right? So you have this network
Right.
effect of inviting through affiliate commission more and more viewers to the show, and it's very very powerful. And sometimes we see that like 50% of the revenues are are achieved like after the event, because we record and store 100% of the live events, and they are still there as long as the inventory is available. People can still make a purchase. So a lot of people just registered and they didn't have time to join, so they will join the recording of the event and they can still purchase, right? And
Yep.
so that's very important, that recording aspect. And yeah, I mean, live is I think the I just saw the latest report. Live 2024 is somewhere around $20 billion, right, in the US, and it's like doubled than last year, and it's planning to double also next year. So I think it's turning to be something which was probably nice to have when it started like 3 years ago, to a must have, right? Must have it, at least as a weekly show, right? It's something that you do on an ongoing basis. People are waiting for that, and it's a very powerful type of your marketing.
When you put on your forecasting hat and you look into the future, do you see blockchain and crypto being a substantial part of revenue in between the viewer and the host or the in-house marketing? It seems like it's a great way to just take that next step in there. What's your take on the future of
Yes, I
blockchain,
mean,
Web3 and that kind of stuff?
definitely it's a currency that there is a market for it, and there's a community who is working
Right.
on with this currency, right? I mean,
Yep.
is it going to replace and going to be like adopted, like majorly adopted? No, but there is definitely a community
Right.
that will keep trading, with this currency. Uh, those platform will be managed on those blockchain type of networks. There is definitely a use case for video on blockchain that we are very much familiar with, and it will serve that specific community, and also serve the metaverse type of engines, like purchasing
Yep.
of digital asset on Roblox, or like on Minecraft,
Yeah.
and all these virtual communities. And yeah, that's definitely growing. Probably not as expected as it used to be, right? It was the hype before the ChatGPT, remember?
Yeah.
So ChatGPT, I guess, is more commonly used by all of us. I think it's kind of a in probably in the hundreds of millions of users already on these platforms, versus like metaverse, NFT, type of blockchain, which is mostly still limited in terms of reach, limited to a very certain community that they know how to operate within those boundaries.
What are you when you look into the future, when you continue to look in the future, what are you most excited about for some stuff on the fringes?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything that we talked is going to be just
Yeah,
expand more and more and more, right? So
right.
I see that there is a continuous battle of just AI growing, and the need
Yep.
for human connection and social connection also growing, right? So how it's going to, I think it's going to be a mix. We will spend our day knowingly we are happy to accept machines, and some part of the day we're happy to accept human connection. I think we don't. It's important not to lose this balance, because we cannot be, too much machine based, right? And just doing all these machine based interaction, it's probably not good enough. Not good enough. So, and I think we have to have the right balance. And I think this Gen Z, going back to Gen Z, they are very, very smart, because
Yep.
they know how to split the day between work and non-work. And
Yep.
non-work is a lot of social engagement, charity, environment, sustainability, all these new trends. Not new trends. I mean, the importance that they put on all these, uh, uh, you know, activities, climate change, and they're spending time on real thing, and they're not,
Yeah.
that's a generation that will not, put 100% of their resources and time in work. They know where to stop, and how to uh, how to spend time on other things. And I know that a lot of um, executives and professionals in our age, they feel quite,
Yeah.
I don't know what's the word, that they're afraid, or they
Mhm.
are struggling to understand
Yeah.
how the world will continue to to evolve, right? When you are not going to spend 12 hours today, it's only 6, really? Okay. Okay,
What do you
so
mean you want to do something meaningful? What are you talking
yeah.
about? You want to do something worthwhile?
Yeah.
Make this widget.
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, we had a meeting. This is what you need to do. That's it. Let's do that. No, it's I need to be emotionally involved, right? So I guess it's very healthy way, right? So
Yeah.
definitely it's a very healthy way, and but it's a different mindset, and I guess it's going to be a big, big change. What I found is, I spend a lot of time and effort, in this work-life balance. I also,
Mhm.
I'm a qigong teacher and brain coach. I'm doing a lot of things outside of that
Yeah.
business, and I found that when you just zoom out from your daily routine, right, you're activating your default mode. It's called default mode network.
Yeah.
You're in a kind of a daydreaming status, right?
Yeah.
And this is a place for creativity and setting priorities in life, right? And in work, right? So you
Yeah.
work smarter in less time, right? You put the right priorities on the right thing, and you are very, very creative and effective in these spikes of work. So that's, I think, future of our work is definitely changing, and probably changing in a good way. We just need to adopt it, and learn more about it. That's important.
It is important.
Yeah.
Something both you and I are passionate about. But there's probably many things, but this idea of podcasting. I'm wondering if maybe you could talk a bit about how, since you've begun podcasting, has that changed the way you have conversations? Has that changed the way your internal dialogue is? Or maybe you could talk about how being a podcaster and doing what you do has influenced who you are, and any changes you've noticed in yourself.
Yeah. So I mean, my career always,
Right?
been on the sales marketing side. So I always
Okay.
spent time listening than talking. So it was a natural progress for me. So because, we learned very, very early in sales that, the 80-20%, right? Let the customer speak 80%, again, on a B2B, right? Let the customer speak for 80% of the time. And in your 20%, most of the time ask questions, right? Don't provide too much information. And it's very important. So, I mean, my approach is more on that just building relationship, being more the empathy, right? Is very, very
Mm,
important characteristic. I think that is kind of a foundational that all the things that I do. But for me, we moved from traditional media and entertainment, TV stations, broadcast station, cable companies. We moved to e-commerce, and that change. It's actually, in marketing terms, it's existing technology in new market. So that transition, I mean, we need to move very, very fast and learn about this new market, build relationships, understand priorities in terms of our product management, in terms of the way we price the product, and how do you prioritize feature sets, um, to start discussing with influencers in the industry, customers. And I started the podcast just, I never thought, like, on 90% of the values that I get from the podcast, I never thought before I launched that podcast. I mean, it's really amazing. I thought about, yeah, why not we try? I saw that maybe I have the right team who can manage pre and post production. Reaching out, I said, okay, let's do 3 episodes. 10 episode was like a dream. How can I get to 10 episodes? Because I heard that I think 90% of podcasts that they never reach 10th, right? And 95% never reach 100 episode or something. And it's what I realize is that first I enjoy it a lot. I learn a lot. I just expedite the whole product market fit process that we went through, building the right foundation for the building relationship with the right influencers and networking, meeting customers. I mean, the value was immense beyond anything that we can ever imagine, and it's very important for us to speak, to learn, and to meet customers, to meet business partners, to meet industry influencers, just to learn more and more and more and provide value. Of course, when you build a community and the listeners and all the marketing that you can do with that, that's like another important value, right? The repurposing, the videos, great assets for all the marketing that we do out there. But yeah, I think this is something that has marketing benefits. It has a lot of personal benefits in your ability to learn and build relationships. So that's very very powerful. I think that it's important. Just remember, we talked about authenticity and
Yep.
consistency, right? So that wins everything today. So that consistency is like critical. I will always be there, no matter what, and it's a matter of just keep going and just keep grinding.
Yep.
As well. I mean, you're getting so many requests probably to join your podcast, and you need to prioritize the right thing. And I'm zooming in. My podcast was like very general for all e-commerce topics, and I just changed the name from eCommerce to Mastering E-commerce Marketing. So I'm going to zoom in specifically on the marketing, where my sweet spot is and where my passion lies. So it's also another step in the evolution of my podcast as well. And but also I like to create content right on LinkedIn. This is
Yeah.
something that looked very difficult at the beginning, but now that I start doing it, it's really fun. So it's really, and again, it's so important for the business because this is the currency today that you sell with through content, and it's very very important.
Yeah, what is your take on I know a mutual contact of ours, Lloyd Lobo, and he speaks quite a bit about newsletters. And I see a lot of people that I spoke to who have sort of a 1-2 punch between a podcast and a newsletter. Is that something you're implementing, or is that just something that you think complements it? Or what's the role in the newsletter these days?
Again, another one, probably my best like crazy surprise of the year. So we launched the newsletter like I think probably like 2 months ago, right?
Hmm.
And remember, all our database was like media and entertainment database, not commerce. We started like almost from zero, right? And that newsletter like is reaching almost 5,000 subscribers like
Wow.
within 2.5 months or something. So, and it's totally focused on video commerce. Video commerce is like an umbrella name for shoppable video, live shopping, social commerce, video marketing, all these topics that we've just discussed, right? TikTok. And it's amazing the way that newsletters are working these days. If it's done right with the amount of value versus promotion, then you get more and more. And we have like hundreds that are joining like every week. It's really a great surprise and really amazing. I think we nailed that issue. It's super super critical. By the way, not just newsletters.
Yep.
We thought that it's the end of email, right? No one is reading
Hmm.
emails, right? Again, it's one of those areas that you need to be very very expert in, because emails is and email marketing is not just having the best scripting and content. It's a whole technical operation with subdomain and DKIMs and SPF. I mean, you need to be very very thoughtful in the way you bypassing the spam filters, and there's a certain specialization in it. So we just outsource this entire operation, and we also see very very good results. So everything, what I found is that everything continue to work, like all the different channels, right? But they have changed a lot, and they've changed very very fast. And you need to have the right help, the right working with the right experts, just to keep that same success rate, open rates, all these conversions for sales that you used to have probably 3 or 5 years ago. So every area of the marketing has become more specialized. You need help to make
Yeah.
sure that all these vehicles will continue to operate in the right way. And this is another challenge, is just choosing the right agency, choosing the right expert you want to work with. It's not everything can be absorbed internally, not also for the big companies, right? So yeah, don't think that any of the channels are not working anymore. They are just changing, and you need to understand how do you need to adapt accordingly.
Yeah, I like that quote that you need help. It seems to
Yeah.
me on part of my podcasting adventure that I've learned that relationships are the real currency. And after you, it's sort of that blend of authenticity and relationships. And once you've been in it
Yes.
and maybe kissed a few frogs or whatever, all of a sudden you realize, like, this person I've talked to a bunch. I trust this person. I'm going with this person over here, regardless of what so and so says. I've talked to him. I know him. We're moving together. What's your take on
Yes.
relationships is the real currency?
100%. That's think about like when you go to a conference or an exhibition, right? And you meet someone, you're in a cocktail party at 6 p.m. and you talk to someone, right, that you suddenly met. I mean, you don't say, "Hi, hello, we have a video commerce SaaS platform. It costs 149 per month. Why did you?" It doesn't work that right? You talk about other things. You talk
Right.
about life. You talk about what you guys are doing. I mean, it's something you build some kind of a relationship first.
Yeah.
When you meet someone face to face, that's the natural way of doing things. You just need to remember that and just build it on a digital front, right? So building a relationship first, people then needs to know you before they are open to be, to accept any offer. So relationship first, building foundation of trust before they are open. I'm receiving, you also like hundreds of emails a day of just pitching, and I love to
Mm.
see all these different styles of how people operate,
Yeah.
right? It's a lot of I mean, you don't have to tell me to click here to schedule a call, right? If I need something, I know how to reach out, right? So what
Yep.
I found is, I mean, all this, what I saw, I mean, I talked to my team today about this company that is just sending, like every 3 weeks, I get an email with just pure value. It's not that email like after 3 weeks, following my email that I've sent you, did you have a chance to open the email? No, every email is like something new. That's a LinkedIn agency, right? So
Right.
every email is like some kind of a value, how to use video on LinkedIn. LinkedIn algorithms are changing, right? How to do conversion on LinkedIn, how to write content, whatever, what's trending, structuring. And there is no call to action. There is no CTA, nothing, plain text, very short, pure value. And I think he's been doing this for like probably more than 2 years, right? Of course, it's automated, it's fine, but it's just pure value. And if I want to work with an Indian agency, probably is going to be the first one I'm going to reach out to, right? It's very subtle kind of approach, which I think works very, very well. But again, emails is like again from outbound perspective, is the numbers game, right? They need to be
Yeah.
very high volume, and the giveaway that you are providing just probably makes a difference. So I think every brand needs to understand, or every company needs to understand in their outbound what type of value they are providing. Okay, people still read ebooks, people still like courses and videos, calculators, user guides, checklist, whatever you can. I mean, that makes a huge difference, right? Testimonials, great case studies, everything is working, but it's
Yeah.
probably you need to structure it in a different way, get the experts to operate this for you, and you need to do it in large scale because it's a number game at the end of the day.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we shift gears for a moment, like we see the world of e-commerce changing, but I think it's going hand in hand with education on some level, with all these places you can do courses online. On some level, it seems to me that accreditation or people trying to get to certify you. Like that seems to be losing its way a little bit. Maybe the new resume of the future for education is what have you built online? Let me see. Because you can compete with this guy with a master's or you compete with this person out of this school if you have built something, right? What's your take on
Yes.
that?
Yes. Look, I mean, there was a huge trend of all the gurus teaching you
Yep.
how to build an online course, and you look at Kajabi, Thinkific, Teachable. These are really powerful platforms.
Yep.
But when you zoom in, 80% of their courses are not, no one ever purchased those courses, right? So, and it's getting worse and worse, and it's there is a kind of overflow. And again, with AI, I started to write a book, and I met this company who said, "You're just wasting time. Give us, we need 5 hours from your time, and next week you have a book, okay,
Yep.
with AI, right?" So think about, and you know it's going to be a
Yeah.
very good one, right? It
Yep.
works. Think about that also on product development, right? And like VCs are spending millions with companies. There's some guy on the other part of the world just doing the same thing in just 90% less cost and probably 50% less time, right?
Yep.
And it's so many things are changing, and it's very crowded. And this is why, there you need to find your community, you need to find your niche,
Yeah.
try to validate, move fast, being very, very agile. I mean, the way to launch product is like what I see also on the brand side with services and products is similar to what we are doing for the last 2 decades in the tech industry, right? So that lean startup methodology where you start very, very small with a very minimal set of functionalities, launching this product to a very specific sets of shoppers, and just be very, very focused on the minimal functionalities to a minimal set of customers, get their feedback very, very fast, iterate very, very fast, be very agile. Like, initially we are releasing software versions like almost every day, because we hear feedback from customers and try to adapt that very, very fast. And once you hit and you provide some kind of a value, they will tell their friends about that, then word of mouth, and that network effect will start. And so that's what we call the narrow innovation type of product market fit or product launch. And once you hit and you've been able to succeed in this first phase, then you will land and expand. You introduce more functionality after you reach that level of success, and customers are very, very happy. So then you introduce something new to the existing platform. So it's a usually founders and entrepreneurs, they have a vision and a dream of a product which is very broad, right? They can do so
Hmm.
many things and replace so many things, and it's really counterintuitive. You need to think very, very small, launch a minimal set of functionalities to minimal sets of customers, and then land and expand from there. So that's a kind of a way that I see products have been launched these days. You serve a very specific community with outstanding performance, and they see that you are very agile. They see that you are fully dedicated to them, and it's create a big effect. Focus is like everything. Focus of developments, focus of marketing efforts. This is why it's very difficult to win all communities, right, on all platforms. You're like the king of average. No one likes to be average, right? So better to be expert in something which is very, very specific. It's big enough for you to take the company to the next level, and then you can grow from there. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Eitan, I feel like we blew through an hour like it was 10 minutes. It's really fun. The
Yes,
conversation is it's great. Before I know you've been very generous with your time, but before we end up today, I was wondering if maybe you could tell people where they can find you, what you got coming up, and what you're excited about.
sure. So in terms of the Vimmi video commerce platform, just visit vimmi.net, which is vimmi.net. We have a free account that you can start going live, post shoppable videos on your social media and on your website, enable social commerce, and that's a free account. And if it's limited not by functionality, just by the volume and the amount of videos that you can manage, and you can grow. Our basic package is for 149, and that's one area. I also post daily on LinkedIn. So again, my personal profile, which is Eitan Koter on LinkedIn, Eitan Koter, and that's where I post, totally focused on video commerce, video marketing, social commerce, all these big trends. Try to provide as much value as I can. In terms of what I'm excited about, so I've been waiting for 2 decades for this media and e-commerce convergence. I mean, just last year, and we talked prior to this recording, like Walmart acquires Visual,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
What's for a retailer? and a TV manufacturer, a TV app or TV streaming service, right? So think about that. Also, JP Morgan launching Chase Media Solution, right? Instacart partners with
Yep.
YouTube on shoppable ads. Costco launches retail media network, Best Buy and CNET. I mean, the list is very, very long. You see how commerce or retailers are becoming media houses, how media houses are becoming digital brands and digital merchandising companies. And like in the big brand, you have like the first four, you have like these huge studios, right? Because video is such an important aspect of it. And what I see now, which is very, very exciting, is things that I saw from Zara, for example, and some of the big fashion
Yeah.
and cosmetic brands. They are creating like a mix of entertainment, storytelling with shoppable content. So think about it: you join an event like a 20 minutes content. That 20 minutes has some kind of a storytelling, right? Which is captivating, but you have also the
Yeah.
opportunity to click on the button and make a purchase. So this is something really interesting. The see is happening a lot. There are a lot of companies in the US that are launching like live shopping apps and shoppable video apps that are becoming very, very successful. So I think those companies are going to be very, very big. And yeah, I mean, everything that, I mean, video is going to continue growing because it's still huge in terms of the consumption side. People are expecting more and more videos from brands, more and more videos from customers. Any report that you'll find on video, just make it much more sense to use videos compared to any type of content out there. So yeah, we're really excited about that, and specifically excited about Vimmi roles. Within this ecosystem, I think there's plenty of things that we have on our plates to achieve, and happy to launch more and more features and functionalities and innovation into this market.
What is that? The storytelling in Zara, what does that look like? Is in my mind, I'm seeing like a soap opera or like a Real Housewives show where they're actually talking about the garment they're wearing, and then it's like, is
Yeah,
that
it's like
overtly?
look, it's not. I mean, it's not QVC, right?
Right,
So
right, yeah.
it's not HSN. So this is like it's like in your face, right?
Right,
Sales,
right,
sales, sales, aggressive sales.
right,
That
the hard
it's
sale.
it's a story about how it's a story about housewives and husband that go to a vacation, and all the garments and everything is like Zara. But it's a
Right.
subtle. You don't. It's not pushy. It's like pull more, right? They tell a
Mm,
story, and they are just waving like it is like inside here and there. Maybe 10% of the story you'll hear something about the product, but very, very gentle, not pushing, something that
right,
is absorbable by this new generation. And when there is a purchase opportunity, they will not hide it. They will not just, they will say, in the next minute, you have the opportunity to purchase 10% discount, click on this button, right? And then we'll move back. So I think I see a lot of experimentation around how to nail the right use case. We talked previously about lean forward, lean back,
right.
right? CTV. I mean, I see so much innovation. Like
Yeah.
Netflix, they're launching like brick and mortar stores, right? Which is like theme
Mm.
stores based around the series that they are launching, right? So I see a lot of people, companies trying to find the right ways to break through and try to find the use case, for making really, really like purchase much more frictionless, much more streamlined, maybe exciting and interesting, right? Just to make fun of it in a better
Yeah.
way, engaging way, and the social aspect obviously is very, very important.
It's fascinating that are you okay? You got time for another question?
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
yes. So it's interesting that you bring up about brick and mortar and e-commerce. When I was in Hawaii a while back, I was back there a couple months ago, and I saw the first ever. They have a huge mall out there called Ala Moana, and it's like this
Uh-huh.
incredible mall with all of like the big Versace, all the big boys and big girls are there, all like the most expensive stores, and the rent there is exceedingly high. But I saw the first ever at least that I had noticed, the transfer of a purely Instagram channel opened up a brick and mortar. And I thought, oh, and they had a line out the door. They did the promotion, beautiful. Like it was just
Wow.
wonderful. They were selling bags. And I'm like, look at this? Is this a new trend? Are we going to start seeing the movement back? Because we saw this exodus from brick and mortars to e-commerce. Are we beginning to see the transfer back from e-commerce to brick and mortar?
Yeah, so just let's put things into perspective.
Okay.
E-commerce shares of all retail sales are somewhere 23%, maybe. Okay.
Okay.
That's all. Like 70% plus is still brick and mortar in the
Wow.
US. And it's not going to change. There is no change. It's like constant.
Okay.
Last year is going to continue to be constant according to any report. Like in China, digital commerce is 80% of retail.
Wow.
Okay. It's like the other side of the spectrum completely, right? So this is first thing we need to understand. So people like, again, the social connection. They like
Yeah. Yeah.
the experience to go and test and check,
Love that.
and that's very, very important. But what we see is emergence of these digital experiences within brick and mortar. So for
Yeah.
example, we stream live events not only to mobile phones and websites, but also to
Yes.
digital signage, to monitors within the brick and mortar store in concurrently. And then we put a QR code there, so you can see the live show, and you can just open your mobile, scan the QR code, and you can purchase, because it's very attractive. There is a discount now in the next 5 minutes. There is an urgency. You want to buy it, right? So
Right.
obviously, this is the trend of the retail media. Retail media is
Right.
not just the ability of online retailers to monetize their inventory, is the ability of all of those retailers to monetize their offline inventory as well. So we will see more and more digital screens, what we call digital shelves, right? So, and those digital shelves will not showcase just nice advertisement or something. It will be a very interactive experience. You can click there to actually make a purchase, right? And you can collect it at the cashier, or you can
Yeah.
just ship it, all the way home from within the brick and mortar store. So that's a kind of a mix between the real omni-channel mix, right? So you can buy online, pick up at store, but you can buy at store, pick up, at home, and also being able to purchase offline through this variety of digital experiences, right? So it's when you walk through the aisle and there's a TV screen just encouraging you to pay attention to some kind of a product that you never thought of. It's nicely priced, and you make an impulse purchase physically on the brick and mortar
Yeah.
store. That's a very important, I think, aspect. And I see a lot of tech companies now going offline, not online, going
Yeah.
offline, and trying to leverage the offline experiences with more upselling and interactive type of purchase opportunities.
It's mind
Yeah.
blowing. And
Yes.
now that I think about it even more, that it was an event. Like they marketed it on their Instagram channel, and then you went there. They had a band, like another local influencer band that was playing. I think they may have sold some tickets. They had a line out the door, and they had
Yeah.
a special product that only you had to buy it at their channel, and then you pick it up there. But you
Yeah.
could buy all their other stuff there, but only that one. Like it was really well done. The more I think about it, the more I'm kind of like, I need to revisit what these people
Nice.
did right there.
Nice. Nice. Look, and we didn't talk about immersive commerce, augmented
Yeah.
reality, virtual reality. I mean, it's really catching up. I mean, there are so many trends that are reshaping the future of e-commerce, right? People are fed up with these 2D type of product
Yeah.
pages, right? They're looking for something
Yeah.
else. And yeah, I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's really interesting. And I mean, I interview a lot of brands and brand owners and
Right.
executives, and they keep smiling all the time. So why do you smile? I mean, for the last 1 hour, it is like I'm so excited about this. It's changing all the time, and it's interesting, and it's like I feel I'm just starting my career now. So hey, it's great. It's one of the real nice things about e-commerce retail,
Yeah.
right? Because it's keep changing all the time because of these technology is evolving, new generation of shoppers are coming in, and it creates so much opportunities for everyone.
Yeah. It's mind blowing. I thanks again. I know you got you've been gracious with your time, and I hope that
Of
everybody
course.
goes down to the show notes. They check out the links to come and check out your podcast, to check out your services, and maybe just to reach out to you in general. I think you're an amazing person to talk to, and just providing tons of value. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, and you're an amazing interviewer. I think you've been able to squeeze all the goodies and all the good stuff for me. So thank you so much.
Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
Nice. Hang on briefly afterwards. I still wanted to talk to you for a moment, but to everybody
Sure.
who's within the sound of my voice, thank you so much for spending time with us today to play a part in our conversation. And I hope you have a beautiful day and that we brought some value to your life. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got. Aloha.